What's the luttiest thing you've ever done? Hi Reddit guys, subscribe now, or I will sleep in a trailer. I went to a Southern Baptist school growing up that was insanely strict and overbearing. You would be suspended for basic PDA like holding hands or hugging, and to make matters worse, teachers had eyes on the back of their heads. This made for some pretty rebellious times when a few of us devils would plan ahead to try sneak in a makeout session in the few places we knew we could get away with it. Now, our church chapel doubled as the school theater, and unless we were having mass or theater class, that chapel was locked down 24/7. We were having a dress rehearsal in theater class my senior year, when I was backstage and realized that someone had left the key in the back door exit behind the stage. There were 2 keys on the keychain, and after trying both, I realized they were the same key for the same door. I quickly pocketed one off the keychain and no one was the wiser. This was the kind of good fortune my honey and exily repressed teen self dreamt about. I had the hots for this girl and we had managed to sneak away several times, make out, and get our hands under each other's shirts a few times too, but nothing more, because we were always so scared of getting caught and expelled. Her parents were hardcore Baptists, dad was a pastor, and would never let her go anywhere on weekends, not even to sleep over at a friend's house. She would often slip me a folded note saying the dirty things she wanted to do. I want to feel you in my mouth, inside me, I want to know what your jizz tastes like, etc. We spent months just needing a place to do it, and finally, this key was my golden ticket to the frick factory. The opportune day arrived when she told me in the hallway before first period. My sister has junior high choir today, so my mum is coming an hour late to pick us up. You need to get out of study hall last period and meet me behind the chapel. I made up an excuse to the dear old librarian, hall monitor, that I needed to do work in the computer lab since I was behind on a project. The kind Christian lady let me go easily. Bless her. I casually walked across the campus and made sure to not be spotted heading behind the chapel. Sure enough, she was there waiting for me and we snuck in and locked the door. We both lost our virginity that day inside that holy place, and for 30 minutes we quietly fricked our frustrations goodbye. We felt like normal, happy kids in each other's arms in that dim-lit church. I will never forget the luttiest thing I have ever heard in all 32 years of my life as she whispered in my ear. God's watching us. I want you to frick the Jesus out of me. We never did get caught. And if there was a God watching, I'm pretty sure he's the one that left the key in the door for me that day. Thoughts and prayers. Was at a bar when a girl sat next to me and asked if I wanted to make out. I said yes, partly helped by all the shots downed earlier. Ended up having a threesome with her and her ex in a bedroom upstairs. Only learned their names the day after. The guy ended up becoming my boss a few weeks later. This guy gal knows how to network. He was just the manager when I started and I was hired by a different guy, but it probably didn't hurt that everyone knew I got along with him. It's a bit odd knowing that my boss has seen my boobs. I missed my stop reading these. Latte. Gualot moment. Got blown by 2 goth chicks in a graveyard. I'm pretty sure you get an achievement for that. Achievement unlocked. Night of the Giving Head. Pretend I just gave you gold. 1 chick at the same time. Get you, frick machine. Last summer, I ran into my former neighbor at the beach. Very attractive woman. She was 42 and I was 20. She watched me grow up. I used to mow the lawn for her. Always admired her from a distance, but naturally, never thought something could happen. She moved away when I was 16. After we bumped into each other, she sends me an Instagram DM. I guess that's the only place she could find me, I dunno, saying that it was good to see me, followed by, and I quote, I hope it's not creepy to say this, but you're looking really good these days. Game on. She picked me up in her soccer mum mobile and I enjoyed a refined blowjob. We banged lots. It was unreal. We still talk and send the odd naughty pic, but we both agreed it probably wasn't best to get too attached. She was 42 and I was 20. I had a similar experience. I worked at a Blockbuster in an upper class neighborhood in the 90s when I was going to college. There was this really hot older woman that would come in and ask for movie recommendations from time to time, and she'd always flirt with me a little. One day I was restocking the shelves and she came up and asked if I lived nearby. She wanted to know if I wanted to make some dog sitting money while she went on a business trip. I said sure, and I took her number. When I called her after my shift, she asked if I'd like to come over to meet the dog and see the house, and maybe hang out for a little bit. I said of course. She asked if I had any problems with hanging out because of our age difference, making it extremely obvious what she was hinting towards. I said absolutely not and rode my 10-speed over to her place. She introduced me to the dog, showed me where the dog food was, gave me a house key, etc. We were in the kitchen pouring drinks when she asked me if I thought she dressed too young. She was wearing a really tight-fitting halter top and was a hem. Bless it. I said, well, you clearly have the body for it, so no. She said, you think? Well, I never had any kids, so these things are still really perky, as big as they are and under the halter top, revealing what I still consider a pair of the greatest boobs I've ever seen, and I spent a year valeting at a strip club. Seriously, they looked like a slightly smaller version of Tessa Fowler's, if you know who that is. She never went on that business trip, or even had one to begin with. For the next 3 months, the only time some part of my body was outside of hers was when I was physically in class or asleep, and even then I wasn't totally safe. I woke up to my dong in her mouth several times. She was insatiable 24/7 and insisted that I finish either on her face or down her throat, no matter what, every time. It only ended when she insisted on meeting my parents. She was older than them by a year, and she didn't understand that they wouldn't understand, and I broke it off. There was a lot of age is just a number stuff, but we were in such different places. She had a career and a mortgage and I rode a bike to a job that forced me to wear a name tag that was in the shape of a movie ticket. That was literally 20 years ago. I tried to look her up on social media once, but she would be 62 now. I turned 40 this year. I'm also in a happy monogamous relationship. Bro. Was the boy toy for 2 Balinese women. They met me at a bar, brought me around the island with their driver, stayed at hotels. They just said I had to frick them when they said so. This went on for 4 days. Sounds like a tough life. I fingered a girl's ass in the Pacific Ocean. I had sex with 2 different girls the same night by telling one I had to work at 9 and told the other I got off work at 9. Also I did it at my neighbors that I was dog sitting for. Not gonna lie, I had to go back and reread that sentence twice. I was reading it and my eye caught the word dog below and I got pretty nervous. I fricked a guy I had met an hour prior, in a small supply closet, at a bar in NYC. The door didn't close all the way, and at one point, a busboy was walking up the stairs to go to the rooftop, and he caught us. We frantically were pulling our pants up, apologizing, and he just chuckled and told us to finish. We did not finish. He's a busboy. Just hand him $5 and gesture to keep moving. Or give him a $50 and invite him in. Player 3 has joined the game. Fricked a girl in the Wet Republic Club pool in Las Vegas that I had met about 90 seconds prior. The only thing I know about her is she was 36 at the time. How does this even happen? My friend is really curious. Rules 1 and 2 of Tinder applies here. Okay, yeah, but even still, what 90 seconds of conversation takes place to get to this point? Your ex, I'm ex. Why, that's me, you're hot. Let's do this. Maybe? Just guessing here. I once made a hot girl character in an MMO, Perfect World, and Raoul played as a girl to get SHT from people. I barely managed to keep it up for 4 days before the creep factor got too heavy, but I cannot deny the results. I felt like an utter lut, but by God did I make some serious progress. The only reason why I chose female characters for every MMO I played. I got a handjob from 2 sisters. I sat in the middle of the car and they both played with my peanuts. Was a great night. A few years ago, I got a blowjob from two girls that looked very much alike. And they would switch off, as much as I begged them to go at it simultaneously. I've always suspected, but I guess I'll never know. The other great part of this story. I had just given them a ride back to their car in my pedicab. They get out. First girl asks me how much. I'd already had a good night, and we'd been flirting the whole time. So I told her just put a smile on my face, hoping she'd flash me or something. She gives me $10 and keeps flirting. Maybe 7-8 minutes later, she's pulling my dong out. She sucks it for a few seconds, pulls back, and says, "Hold up, gimme my $10 back." I did, and shortly after, her sister joined in. The way she asked for her money back always makes me laugh when I think about it. I met a girl because I went outside at a party to have a smoke and found her bawling her eyes out because she broke up with her boyfriend. 10 minutes later we were upstairs in an empty room freaking like rabbits. I always feel like this is worst thing I've done. Second would be the hottest 60+ years old woman I met while getting drunk in a jacuzzi at a hotel area. We were staying there for my grandmother's 70th anniversary shindig. So my whole family was there. I was invited back to this woman's room after a lot of drinks and learned a lot of new shit when it comes to X. But goddamn was she in good shape and looked great for her age. Okay Reddit guys, subscribe now, or I will sleep in a trailer.